Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I am pretty sure statements made by politicians in Europe, like this one that I will be reading to you in a minute, are more numerous than we hear about. And that is because the mass media still promotes a certain narrative and tries to form our opinions to support one direction. So we have here an example coming from France, and this article obviously comes from the Russians, doesn't come from France, comes from Sputnik. Why? Because they have an interest to let us know about this kind of things, as the other guys have an interest to let you know when someone else does something in Russia. So that's how you find out things. That's why you don't stick only with the free mass media from your country, because they mostly say the same thing. You try to see what the enemy is saying. You try to see the so-called perceived independent voices and so on. And you learn because they will spill the beans. You know, I spill it here, they spill it here. And then you pick them and say, oh, okay, I think the big picture might look like this. So let's see what's going on here. This is from today, the 19th of November, 2022. French politician urges Paris to end help for Zelensky over attempt to provoke world war. Paris should stop supporting Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky after his attempt to provoke a third world war. Nicolas Dupont-Aignan, it's A-I-G-N-A-N, Aignan, I would say. The head of the party Debout la France, France Arise. Or I think the debut means, doesn't it sounds like start France or something? Anyway, they say France Arise. And a former French presidential candidate said on Saturday. So this gentleman, Nicolas Dupont-Aignan, I'm going to break my throat here, was a former French presidential candidate on Saturday. I confess, I don't know his party's affiliation, left, right, up, down, north, east. Anyway, Zelensky, and I'm quoting, Zelensky sending a missile to Poland. Zelensky sending, I'm quoting this guy, Zelensky sending a missile to Poland and blaming the Russians for this almost provoked World War III. Stop supporting this dangerous man. It is necessary to urgently find a plan to return to peace. End quote. Dupont-Aignan said on Twitter. He said on Twitter. According to the politician, the peace plan is the only possible solution to the conflict in Ukraine and should include a ceasefire, the autonomy of Donbass in accordance with the Minsk agreements, and the neutrality of Ukraine. On Tuesday, two missiles fell. Two missiles. Because they say two and then they said one and they said it's the debris, it's not the missiles, then I saw two craters. So yeah, two missiles were fired and fell, hit Poland. Fell. They hit Poland. What do you want? Bombarded. So two missiles fell on Polish territory on the border with Ukraine, killing two people. Initially, Warsaw said that the missiles were Russian-made, but later they were Russian-made. S-300 are Russian-made, but I don't know if the Ukrainian manufacturers can produce it or not. But anyway, but later A added that there is a high probability that they were shot by Ukrainian air defense forces. Yeah, because they used the S-300s, which were Russian, Soviet actually made. S-300s were made by Soviet Union, from what I remember. And Ukraine was part of the Soviet Union, as was Russia. And I don't think that Russians could, they could use the 300s. Someone said, well, no, it's too, they don't have the area, they can't cover the area. But I looked over the map, and if they shoot those S-300s from right at the border of Belarus with Ukraine, it's very possible could have been 300s, I think. But anyway, I'm not disputing it was 300s according to these guys. 300s were made by Soviets, I know that one, and they had the Russians have them, the Ukrainians have them. But most likely it was not the Russians using S-300s from Belarus shooting them. If you shoot it from Russia and you have to cross the whole entire freaking Ukraine territory to hit Lviv, Lvov, whatever, you can't do it with S-300. That's correct. But if you use Belarus, whatever, Belarusia, however you want to call it, I think it's possible. But the trajectory showed that it was not coming from that side. It was coming from Ukraine. So the Russian Defense Ministry said the strikes have been carried out on targets. So the Russian Defense Ministry said no strikes have been carried out on targets near the Ukrainian-Polish border, and the debris on photos released on the internet looked nothing like Russian weapons. Well, as of now, we kind of know, because publicly a lot of people came and smacked Zelensky's mouth a few times, saying that stop, the evidence doesn't say it was Russian evidence. Your statements are supported by evidence. That's what Biden said about Zelensky saying it was not us, it was not our missiles. So I don't know what's going on here. Probably this guy thinks, I don't know if it was an accident or the guys just wanted to initiate and provoke NATO into attacking the Russians somehow, which it won't happen because I don't think the Russians will fight NATO with conventional weapons. I don't think they're in the mood to do that. I think they will just say, you know what, if you guys come over, we're going to fuck you up with something else. Just come over and you're going to find out. I'm guessing. I have no evidence, but I would not want to kill half of my population and kill your half of the population with conventional weapons. Why would I want to do that? And for whom? And for what? For 2 rockets launched by this idiot? Even if those people died, the 2 Polish people, which is obviously, I don't know how to call it, sad, unfortunate, as it is. If I put it in the whole context, how many lives were ruined by this idiocracy commanded against, I don't know, as Stalin said, killing 1 person makes you a criminal, killing 1 million is a matter of statistics. We will never get anyone from this side in front of any court, any judge, anything like that. We cannot get from this side if these guys are just, insurrected, if you know what I mean. Then, yeah, you might take some of them and stage another Nuremberg trial or Nuremberg trials and have them all hanged in a very civilized Western public display, because that's the way we do, right? Yeah, look how they treated Mussolini. Even if he deserved whatever might have deserved, he was not put in front of a court. He was not judged. He was just killed like a dog by civilized people. Remember, 1945 was in April, right? In April they killed him. Did he deserve to die? I don't know. We gotta put all the evidence right there. And then, that's how we do it, right? Court of law. And then find him guilty and whatever the penalty for that is. But the mob? No, that's why the other guy said, I'm not gonna let myself be treated by the mob like that. I'm gonna shoot my kopf off. And anyway, now Hitler, yeah. Putin, he might end up to another Nuremberg trial if he gets, hey, Mr. Putin, we came to take you into custody. Then we might have justice served, because the other guys are just A-okay. Unprovoked, the forces of the good. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.